3D Ladybug Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone! In today's video I'm going to be showing you a very cute little 3D ladybug, and I think my favorite element of this design is actually the background, which is just a daisy. The reason I love it so much is because you can't see the shape of the nail underneath it, which is just a little really short stiletto or claw or pen, depending on where you look, depends on what you call this nail tip, but you can't see it because you just see the outline and the perimeter of the flower, which I love. I think that's just such a cool effect. So I really like that part, and then it's got a cute, simple little ladybug on top of it. So I hope you guys like this design as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe and hit the little bell thing to get notifications to see all my future videos as well. So to start with, just because I want to keep it nice and strong underneath, I'm going to be adding an overlay of clear acrylic underneath, just over the top of the tip. Like I said, there's the background color and everything is just done with the colors. There's no filing. After you do your clear background here, if you want to, you can file it. If you're looking at it's like it's really thick over here, it's super thin over there, I want to even it out, go ahead. I looked at mine and said, you know what, it's good enough. It does not have to be perfect by any means at this stage because you won't even see it, you won't be able to tell. But as long as it's, you know, decent, then you can just go ahead and start sculpting on top of it. So you're going to want to begin with your little 3D daisy petals take a pretty wet bead of white acrylic and pull it really long across the nail, and you're going to want to direct all of them so that they're pointing towards the tip of the nail, so they kind of create this little sunburst pattern going out as you're doing this. And do the one, I would start in the very center of the nail and then make a little gap and then do the next set, the next two, and then go back through and fill in between them. So you don't want to sculpt a petal right next to one that you just did that's still a little bit wet. You want to let it set at least until it's not going to move around on you too much. So leave, you know, just a little bit. So just kind of go back and forth when you're sculpting to make sure that you're not going to ruin a petal that you had finished when you're making the one that's next to it. So just fill in as many as you can. As you can see, when I sculpted that one, I did make that bead a little bit stiffer than the ones that I had used on or had been sculpting before. So the outside too, make that acrylic a little bit more dry. That way, when you're pressing it out, it's not going to just flop down around the edge of the tip. It's going to remain a little, or it's going to keep some of that, I don't know, it's going to keep the shape going out and mask the shape of the outside of the tip of the nail. So it kind of continues out around. And then take a pretty large, relatively stiff bead of yellow acrylic and plop that down right on the end of the nail, and then press it out. As you're pressing it out, as you can see, it is kind of curving in and you're still seeing that point, but as it is beginning to set, it will keep that circular shape a little bit more every second. So then after you have it, it's a nice circle in the end, take a little piece of wire or dotting tool or something and just poke a whole bunch of holes in it just to give it some texture. And then you're going to want to sculpt your little ladybug on a nail form backing. So I'm going to begin with black acrylic and just add a nice little oval for the back. This is just the base of it. You will be adding more. After you have your oval in place, kind of pull it down just so it has a little teeny tiny point on the butt of the ladybug. And then add the next section of your ladybug. And then add his head. So you've got the three sections: head, abdomen, and thorax, or I got that backwards, thorax and abdomen. But then after you have all those pieces done, the thorax and the head are just going to be black, but the abdomen, the butt area, is going to be that nice red. So I added a second layer of acrylic over those first two zones just to make sure that it is nice and thick and is going to have a nice 3D on it. And then take another and put down another bead of red acrylic over the back, over the abdomen, and then just sort of pull the acrylic in from side to side so it's got a little bit rounded on the edges. And then take the tip of your brush and drag it down the center so that it's that little division in the back. And then attach it to the nail with some clear acrylic, and then brush over your flower with a wash of white paint. So you want to dilute your white paint so it's not super pigmented, and that's going to wash over both the whole flower, so the center, the yellow, the white, and then over your ladybug as well as a highlight. And then define the little line you made down the center of the back with a black stripe, and then add your little polka dots on your ladybug's back. And then going back to white, highlight his head and his thorax, and then add the little white spots on that portion of the ladybug as well. So they have those little false eyes, and they just kind of, you know, add all those little details on there. Add clear gel to your ladybug and to the background of the nail, that little bit of clear that does show, and matte top coat over the top of your flower. And that is it. I absolutely love this nail. I'm thinking of decorating a pair of shoes to kind of match it. That's a project I've had in mind for a while. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys like this as much as I do, and don't forget to share Recreated with me on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!